Hello and welcome everyone to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name is Mo and this is my channel FPL Inkling for your best content for Fantasy Premier League for the season of 2021-2022. Today's video is about FPL Wonderkids, in my opinion, that are going to literally hit the stage and set the stage alight for this season for FPL. I'm going to be going through 5 Wonderkids that I've picked out myself, and I'll go through some underlying stats and how I think they can be good differentials for you guys and actually good budget values as well when you are constructing your drafts this season itself. So before we begin, just a quick one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, guys, please take the opportunity to subscribe to FPL Inkling. Help me grow the channel and let's make this Fantasy Premier League channel on YouTube a success story itself. So let's get stuck in, guys. Let's go through some of the people or the kids that I have chosen for this draft itself. At number 1, my wonder kid is going to be Bukayo Saka. Unfortunately, he missed the penalty in the Euros for England. Don't worry about it, lad. You're going to be a hero in the coming forward future. You're still a hero. You've done really well. Keep your head up high. My respect goes out to you. And do you know what? Don't let that affect you. Let's make this make you stronger, all right? So 6.5 mil in price. He's owned by 15.5% of managers already. Last season, did pretty well. Pretty much carried the Arsenal team itself. They didn't play that well. Some of the star-studded players such as Willian, Aubameyang, Xhaka overall let them down throughout the season. But this guy literally kind of carried that team on his young shoulders. He got 4.01 points per game, 5 goals, 5 assists. So he got 10 returns. He can play left back, can play left wing. This is why he is so special. Likes to go forward, takes on teams, can win you crucial set pieces such as free kicks and penalties as well. What to expect from him? He's a real kind of burst of energy. Arsenal need this kind of talent. The crowds will be back. They're all going to be backing him. I think after what's happened in the Euros, everyone in the nation, especially Arsenal fans, will fully support him. He's a youngster. He's a teenager. He's going to be definitely up there, making his career, and he will be a future star to reckon with himself. So I think this is a great chance for him to really drive off the energy from the crowds and make a mark for himself in this season, FPL season itself. So moving on to the fixtures that they do have: Brentford away, Chelsea home, Man City away. But then if you look at Arsenal fixtures, they're pretty manageable, to be fair. Norwich, Burnley, obviously the London derby against Spurs, which will be a tough game. But then they've got Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa in their first 9 game weeks. So Saka, for me, I think he will get game time. He is a player that is kind of respected by his manager, who is Arteta. There is much to come from him. 6.5 mil, I think it's a fair price for a player of his ability and someone who's going to be getting game time as well. So he can be, someone that people can look out for. And I think, overall, he's only selected by 15.5% of managers as of yet. But there's only around 1 million managers that have signed up. But as the game gets more managers and more teams get created, and I think after watching him in the Euros, his ownership certainly will increase. So Bukayo Saka, definitely to look out for. He's one of my number 1 wonder kids for FPL this season. At number 2, I've picked Mr. Phil Foden. So he's owned by almost 14% of managers, 8 mil in price. I think he's half a mil a bit too much for me. Otherwise, he definitely would have been in my drafts mostly. But 8 mil, I think he's a bit expensive for a player. Is he guaranteed to start pretty much week in, week out? He played most minutes of his kind of career for Man City last season at 1,607 minutes. Got 9 goals, 8 assists with 135 points. He got 7.56 points per game he played with 17 bonus points as well. In terms of the start of the season, nothing's too difficult for Manchester City, but they were slow starters last season and they've got some tough fixtures in the first 10 game weeks. So they've got Tottenham away, Chelsea away and Liverpool away. So they've got some real tough fixtures. Other than that, they've got Arsenal at home in there as well with Leicester away. So it's not an easy start for Man City. So I think, maybe after game week 12 where they've got Everton, before that they've got the Manchester derby, maybe then around game week 13, they may get more of players who will come into the squad. But Phil Foden, a lot of people are looking into him. He's phenomenal. He didn't really get much of a chance in the Euros, played the first game, but then kind of didn't really get much of a look in from Gareth Southgate. But he's someone who really inspires, the younger generation, who really attracts fans. Me as a Manchester United fan, I enjoy watching him play. It's a shame that he's not on this side of Manchester, but he's definitely a wonder kid to look out for. If you want to play him in your squad and you think, you want to take the risk on him, good on you. He's a real good talent, and he's definitely pleasing on the eye when he is given the chance to play by Pep. The only thing, again, which is a concern for him, is Pep roulette happens to everyone, and considering he's a youngster and still up and coming, Grealish, is he going to come or not? Still yet to be seen, but otherwise, absolutely amazing, and he's definitely someone to look out for in terms of being a wonder kid. At number 3, to the other half of Manchester, it's Mason Greenwood. So last season was a bit of a hiccup for him. Him and Foden, obviously on England duty, broke COVID rules, and it kind of affected their performance on the pitch more for Greenwood rather than Foden. But he did get 7 goals and 2 assists at the end of the season last season. He got most of those in the latter half. 106 points. He averaged 5.26 points per game. 7.5 mil, I think that's a fair price, to be fair. He's only selected by 3.4% of managers because it's yet to be seen. Obviously, with Sancho potentially arriving, they're going to have riches of talent on the pitch. They've got Martial, Cavani, Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba. It's a lot of talent on that pitch. Who's going to play, who's not going to play. Rashford, I forgot about him just there. So it'd be worth seeing where he fits into the whole thing. But for me, he probably get the central role as an attacker. So he might be actually one of those where he could be a Lundstrom, basically, where he can actually be someone who's listed as a midfielder, but is predominantly going to play the forward role for Manchester United, as Cavani might just be that odd rotational game here and there. So that's Mason Greenwood for you guys. I think there's a lot to come from him. I think this season might be the season for him. Didn't play the Euros, so he's pretty much had a summer of rest. Will he come in? Will he have a good start? And can he do it throughout the whole season this time, rather than doing it in the last half of the season for the last 2 seasons running? At number 4, we've got Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa played extremely well last season, kind of like the sole striker leading the strike force. Over 33% of managers already own him, 7.5 mil in price, which I think is extremely fair. He's gone up a mil in price, but it was definitely going to be on the cards after his performance last season. 168 points, 14 goals, 9 assists, and he played pretty much every minute of last season, and his points per game was 4.54. So you can see that from there, he will get the minutes on the pitch. He's got players like Buendia now, Grealish if he stays, El Ghazi, Traore, Barkley if he comes back for another loan spell. So Aston Villa have some really core, good players there. He'll get the service, he'll get the chances. He hit the post a lot of times last season. So if he can convert those into the chances as well, maybe he could hit, close to 20 goals this season. You never know. But Ollie Watkins is a wonder kid for me. He's up and coming, and he's highly rated. Not only at Villa, but I think he was at Brentford before that. So he's there to stay, and he's there to be seen, guys. So that's why I've chosen him in my Wonder Kids list. Last but not least is Eze. He's injured at the moment, so there's no return date. He's owned by 0.2% of managers, 6 million price, 125 points. Now, if he was available, guys, I am telling you now, he would be in pretty much all of my drafts that I do make. I was really impressed by his performance last season. Fair price at 6 mil, and he got 4.41 points per game that he did play. 125 points with 4 goals, 8 assists for Crystal Palace. So along with Zaha, he was kind of like the main talisman to kind of drive them forward and get goals. He kind of brought Benteke into kind of some kind of form as well. In terms of a start, Crystal Palace don't have a friendly start whatsoever. They do get a bit more friendly after game week 11 to maybe 14. But Chelsea away, West Ham away, Tottenham at home, Liverpool away, Leicester at home, Arsenal away in the first 8 games, and then City at game week 10. It's not an easy start, so I can understand why players won't look at him or managers won't look at him. But I'm definitely going to look at him from game week 11 onwards. If he does become available, I'm certainly going to look at him to bring him into my squad. So these are the 5 wonder kids, guys, that I've looked at in terms of the FPL season for this season, for 2021-2022. Kind of what are your thoughts? Are these the kind of wonder kids you're looking at? Is there someone that I haven't discussed who you think, is a talent that, can unleash this season and, take it in their strides and kind of set the season alight, or set the managers in FPL, going, berserk over their form, and how we can actually capitalise on, A, their price, B, their output that they will be given for the investment that you put into them. That's my draft on the FPL Wonder Kids, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit the like button if you've liked this video. Hit that subscribe button and help this channel grow. And if you want to get the latest notifications for the content I release, then all you have to do is simply hit that notifications bell icon, and you'll get the latest notifications for my content when it is released. If you haven't joined the FPL League itself on the FPL site, the code's at the bottom left, type that in and join the FPL Inkling League itself. And if you want to contact me, go through any of the social media outlets at the bottom there. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment on the video. Let me know what your thoughts were. And I'll be back with some more FPL content. Have a good one. Best of luck making your drafts, guys.